Hey guys, welcome back. I'm a Python developer who just pivoted to C#, and this is my very first project in the language, so stick with me as we work through it together. This is a beginner-friendly project, and along the way we're going to cover 4 key concepts: lists, conditional statements, loops, and link. By the end of this project, you'll have a much better understanding of how these work in C#. If you're enjoying the content, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Alright, here's how this is going to go. I'll type out the code first, then break down what's happening afterward. Let's get into it. Alright, first thing, these 3 lines at the top. Using system is just the basic stuff. It's in pretty much every C# file you'll ever write. Using system.collections generic. That one's because I'm going to use a list later, kind of like a Python list, and C# wants you to explicitly import that. And system.lang, honestly don't worry about what that does yet, just know I'll need it later for something pretty cool. Then down here, class program and static void main. This is just C#'s way of saying this is where the program starts. Every C# console app needs this exact setup. Python doesn't really make you do this, so this part felt a little weird to me at first, but it's actually simple, and you will get used to it over time. Let's go to the next part. Okay, next up, 2 lines that look simple, but there's actually something interesting going on. Int menu equals 0, that's just a number to keep track of which menu option the user picked. Nothing crazy there. But this next one, list, angle bracket, decimal, angle bracket, expenses equals new list, angle bracket, decimal, angle bracket, then brackets. This is a good one to slow down on if you're coming from Python like me. In Python, I just write expenses equals open square bracket, close square bracket, and move on. C# doesn't just let you have a list, you have to tell it what kind of list it is. So list, angle bracket, decimal, angle bracket means this is a list, and it's only ever gonna hold decimal numbers. And why decimal instead of just a regular number type? Because we're dealing with money here, and it turns out some number types in C#, like float, can actually mess up decimals slightly, like rounding $10.10 into something like 10.09999. Decimal is built specifically to avoid that, so anytime you're working with money in C#, decimal's the one you want. Alright, now the fun part, the actual loop that runs this whole program. While, open brackets, menu not equal to 4, close brackets, so this just means keep looping until the user picks 4, which in my case is the exit option. Everything inside here is gonna run over and over until that happens. Then I've got a bunch of console.writeLine lines just printing the menu options. Pretty straightforward, that's basically like print in Python. but this next line is the one I actually want you to pay attention to. Menu equals int.parse, open brackets, console.readline, open brackets, close brackets, close brackets. So, console.readline grabs whatever the user types in, but here's the thing, it always comes back as text, even if they type a number. So if I want to actually use it as a number, I have to convert it myself using int.parse. Let's move on to the next part. Alright, this next part is the add expense option. If, open brackets, menu equal 1, close brackets, that's just checking if the user picked option 1. 2 equal signs there instead of 1, because in C#, 1 equal sign means set this value, and 2 equal signs means check if these are equal. Same as Python actually, so nothing new there. Inside, I print a message asking the user to enter their expense. Then this line, decimal xp equals decimal.parse, open brackets, console.readline, open brackets, close brackets, close brackets, same pattern as before. Console.readline grabs the text they typed, and decimal.parse converts it into an actual decimal number, so I can do math with it later. Then expenses.add, open brackets, exp, close brackets, this just adds that number into my list. .add is basically the same idea as .append in Python, just a different name. And last line here, just a $ quote. Your expense, curly bracket, exp, curly bracket, has been added. Quote, that's string interpolation, so whatever's inside the curly brackets gets swapped out for the actual value. It's pretty much identical to an F string in Python, just with a $ instead of an F. Let's move on to the next part. Okay, this next part handles viewing all your expenses. Else if, open brackets, menu equal to, close brackets, same idea as before, just checking if the user picked option 2 this time. Then I print a quick message saying the expenses are listed below. And then this line, for each, open brackets, decimal I in expenses, close brackets, curly brackets, this is basically identical to Python. It's just saying go through every single item in my expenses list, one at a time, and call it I for now. Inside that loop, I just do console.writeLine, open brackets I, close brackets, which prints out each expense, one per line. So if you're coming from Python, this whole for each block should feel really familiar. It's pretty much the same as writing for I in expenses, colon in Python, just with the curly brackets instead of the colon and indentation. Let's move on to the next part. Alright, this next part is probably my favorite line in the whole program. Else if, open brackets, menu equal 3, close brackets, checking for option 3, same pattern as before. Then this line, decimal total equals expenses, dot sum, open brackets, close brackets. This one line adds up every single expense in my list and gives me the total. And honestly, this is where LINK, that import from way back in the beginning of the video, actually comes into play. Without it, I'd have to write a whole loop myself, with a running total variable, adding each expense one at a time. Instead, .sum just does all of that for me in one line. Then I print the total, using that same $ string interpolation trick from before. Now, last part, handling exit and anything invalid. Else if, open brackets, menu equal 4, close brackets. If they pick 4, I just print goodbye, and since 4 is the number that breaks the while loop from earlier, the program actually ends right after this. And then just a plain else, curly bracket. This catches anything that isn't 1, 2, 3, or 4. So if someone types 5 or 0 or anything weird, it just prints invalid option instead of crashing or doing nothing. It won't catch everything though. If someone types a letter instead of a number, the program will actually crash because int.parse can't convert letters into a number. That's something I'll fix in my next video. Finally, we're done with the code. Now let's actually run it. So as you can see, a welcome message pops up first, and then it asks me to press a number. I'm gonna press 1 to add an expense, and I'll do that 3 times, so I've got 3 expenses in there. After that, I'll view my expenses to make sure they're all there, then sum everything up, and as you can see, it gives me the right total. Now let's exit, and that's it. That's our first version of the expense tracker. So this version works, but it's got some real problems, and in the next video, I'm gonna fix them. First up, I'm gonna use OOP, Object-Oriented Programming, to create an actual expense class with a description and an amount. Right now, my list is just holding plain numbers, so I have no idea what any of them were actually for. Was that $20 lunch? Or gas? Or what? No clue. Fixing that. Second, I'm switching from int.parse and decimal.parse to try.parse instead. Right now, if someone types a letter instead of a number, the whole program crashes. Try.parse lets me catch that instead of crashing and just ask them to try again. Third, I'm adding proper input validation. So instead of the program silently accepting weird stuff, it'll actually tell the user what went wrong. And I might throw in expense categories too, so I can group things like food, transport, bills, that kind of stuff. Basically, version 1 proves the concept works, but version 2 is where it actually starts looking like real, usable software. And that's version 2, same expense tracker, but now it's actually got some structure to it, and it won't crash the second you type something weird. If you're learning C# too, or switching over from Python like me, let me know in the comments. I want to hear what you're building, or what's tripped you up so far. If this helped at all, drop a like. It actually helps this channel grow a lot more than people think. And subscribe if you want to follow along. I'm planning to keep building this thing out, and eventually turn it into something more like real finance software, not just a toy project. Alright, that's it for this one. See you in the next video.